What's going on, everybody? C4 here, and today we're going to be looking at the top 10 edge rusher ratings at release for Madden 19 based upon their official ratings that have been dropped. We're going through 10 because EA published an article about 5. We're going for a little bit more of a deep dive, and we're doing all 10. Now, these edge rushers are going to be a mix of defensive ends, outside linebackers, and we're going to try to rank them as best as we can. I want to hear you guys' feedback if you agree or disagree with the ratings. That's why we're doing this, an open discussion to see what we like, what we dislike. So without further ado, jumping in at number 10, we have a three-way tie with a 90 overall. Starting with Justin Houston of the Kansas City Chiefs, and the pair of the Chargers, Joey Bosa and Melvin Ingram, both of the 90. So Houston, I think 90 is kind of fair, based off of reputation, yeah. Based off of the last couple of years, he's definitely a fringe 90 player. Hasn't had his best football the last couple seasons. Just been, dealing with injuries and stuff like that. But on his day, 90 is pretty fair for Justin Houston. And then for Bosa and Ingram, both those guys being 90, especially Joey Bosa, we already know, like the last two Maddens, he's been one of the most unstoppable guys in the sim, or when you just play against him in your franchise modes. And in general, that Chargers edge rushing pair is probably the best. I mean, maybe you could look at, I know Philly's going to be pretty good because you get Michael Bennett. We're not talking about Michael Bennett's at 88. And we'll talk about not Fletcher Cox, but Brandon Graham. They do have Fletcher Cox. But probably Houston. Maybe Houston might be the only other team that has better edge rush than the Chargers. So the Chargers are going to be very nice to use this year. Low-key defense, and not enough people are hyping them up. So that is number 10. At number 9, we have DeMarcus Lawrence of the Dallas Cowboys with a 91 overall. Now, I know we do like to critique the Madden Cowboy rating guy, but I think this is fair. I think DeMarcus Lawrence was absolutely unstoppable and probably consensus best edge rusher for the first 10 weeks of the season last year. Kind of fizzled down the stretch, but I think he still finished with like 14.5 sacks. Utterly dominant. He has 88 acceleration, 93 power move, 88 pursuit. And the fact that, Dallas Cowboy fans have been hoping for an edge rusher for quite some time. They've failed on a couple draft picks. Taco Charlton struggled. Randy Gregory's probably one of the dumbest players in the NFL. So you got a guy like DeMarcus Lawrence. But when you do pop in your save, it's going to be difficult trying to work on that long-term extension. But at least the base is there for all your offline modes. And hey, you might be able to hammer out a nice $90 million deal for him. Going to number 8. Tied with a 91 as well, we have Jadeveon Clowney of the Houston Texans. He has 87 speed, 88 block shed, 89 power move, and 92 pursuit. Clowney being a 91, hey, just move him to defensive end. Run a 4-3, find a way to acquire him, and I guarantee he'll shoot up like 6 or 7 points. It's the old Sean Merriman tactic. Back in like Madden 09, that's one of my favorite things to do. You got Sean Merriman, lights out on the Chargers. He was like an 87, 88 outside linebacker. Move him to defensive end. Shoots up to like a 98. He was a 98, 99, unstoppable. Same thing goes for Jadeveon Clowney. Hey, go pop in Madden 18. Try it. You'll love the way you look with Jadeveon Clowney in a 4-3 defensive end spot. Going to number 7, we have Everton Griffin of the Minnesota Vikings with a 92 overall. He has 87 acceleration, 93 power moves, 87 pursuit. Now those stats don't jump off, but he has a great mix of speed and strength, and most of his stats are in the high 80s. Not really tipping in the 90s for a lot of the major stats. But still, a 92 is fair. He was one of the bigger faces, one of the more known commodities on that very good Minnesota Vikings defense. And he's, even though he's getting up there in age, getting a little long in the tooth, he's still holding off Daniel Hunter to be the best edge rusher wearing purple and yellow and covered in salt. So, Everton Griffin, 92. I don't think there's any qualms with that one. Going number 6, Calais Campbell, the Jacksonville Jaguars with a 92 overall. Here's where I start to disagree massively. Calais Campbell has 91 tackles, 92 block shed, 91 finesse move. I think I don't want to say he got robbed, but I think it was an incredibly close Defensive Player of the Year vote. More close than a lot of people think. I personally would have given it to Calais Campbell over Aaron Donald because, Aaron Donald's team, Aaron Donald's a better player, but Aaron Donald didn't bring his team to the level that Calais Campbell did. They both had the job of raising everyone else around them. I think Calais Campbell did a better job. Saxonville became Saxonville when Calais Campbell came in there. I know everyone talks about Jalen Ramsey, AJ Boye, Telvin Smith. I think it all started with adding Calais Campbell on that defensive line and making guys around him better. They made Malik Jackson better. They made Yannick Ngakoue better. Dante Fowler, Abry Jones, Marcel Darius. All those guys were better because of Calais Campbell being on that team. Outside of him having an outstanding season. So I think Calais Campbell, I personally would have given him a 95. But 92, either way, I think most people can agree that is way too low for Calais Campbell. Going to number 5, we have Brandon Graham of the Philadelphia Eagles. Actually, we have Brandon Graham of the Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles with a 93. He has 90 tackling, 93 power move, and 92 pursuit. I'll take it. I always think Brandon Graham kind of is overrated a little bit because we do know they like to have the Pro Football Focus influence, and Brandon Graham is one of the most Pro Football Focus darlings in the National Football League that we see in Madden. I personally would give Brandon Graham probably like between an 88 and a 90, maybe 88, 91, but he always get 93. I think he was a 94 last year. I'm not going to complain, but you know, based upon his stats, he's never getting double-digit sacks. He's getting like 8, between 7 and 9 every single year. He gets more forced fumbles than a lot of guys, which definitely helps him out a little bit, but I don't know. I don't know why he gets overvalued. He's one of those guys that just doesn't finish a lot of plays, which, you know, he's a really good player, but he's like one of those guys, oh, he constantly leads in QB hurries and stuff. Well, that's kind of like saying I lead in pass deflections. Well, get more interceptions. Stop deflecting so many passes. Oh, I lead in hurries. Well, sack the quarterback more. That's definitely been kind of a gripe with Brandon Graham, but he is coming off one of his best seasons. Maybe, I think, statistically, sack-wise, his best season at Philadelphia Eagle. So I'll take the 93. Go to number 4. We have Cameron Jordan of the New Orleans Saints with a 95 overall. He has 91 strength, 92 block shed, and 94 power move. He's really good. He's a really good player. He's been underrated. I think now he's starting to get rated a little bit. Been doing his thing. And the only thing the reason why he's been underrated though is because the Saints defense historically has sucked. Even the last couple of years, everyone's go, oh yeah, they're an offensive only team. But he's been doing his thing, and I think at 95, you know, maybe a little high, maybe a tad too high. But I just think more so, maybe in comparison to Brandon Graham, I would give Cameron Jordan a 95. But if Calais Campbell's a 92, I don't think Cameron Jordan's a 95. I don't think that gap's that big. Like, honestly, I'd probably switch them, to be honest. I'd switch Cameron Jordan with Calais Campbell. But that's just me. That's my gripe. I'm not going to go on any more about it. Going to number 3, we have J.J. Watt of the Houston Texans with a 98 overall. Very similar to Aaron Rodgers. We've seen really, really good players, elite players, even though they've been injured, they've been banged up for maybe, you know, multiple seasons. In J.J. Watt's case, they still hold on to their elite rating, and it's, you know, let's be honest, how are you going to argue that J.J. Watt, when healthy, is not a 98, 99 type player? He's unstoppable. He has 97 strength, 93 tackling, 93 block shed, 91 power move, and 93 pursuit, plus some decent catching stats. I think he has like 70 catching, even though there's no option to make J.J. Watt a tight end, I don't think. Maybe you can. I find more often than not, though, the tight ends kind of de facto if they use defenders like your middle linebacker, your linebackers and stuff like that. Yeah, J.J. Watt's unstoppable. He's going to come back healthy. And with Jadeveon Clowney, we got 2 Texans on this list, very similar to the 2 Chargers that we talked about on this list. J.J. Watt's really good. Going to number 2 is going to be Khalil Mack, tied with J.J. Watt with a 98 overall. Khalil Mack of the Oakland Raiders has 87 speed, 92 tackle, 92 block shed, 93 power movement, and 93 pursuit. Now the key here is that Calais Campbell Khalil Mack the last 2 years has been a outside linebacker. Now with John Gruden at the helm for the Raiders, he's going to go back to defensive end, which makes him that much more OP. I always find, for me personally, defensive ends, when I use them, are better than my outside linebackers because they don't really have that, you know, the scheme. You know, if you're playing against someone, they could scheme you to make Khalil Mack have to drop back in coverage, or else they're going to be exposed. Whereas your defensive end, his job is to wreak havoc in the backfield, and that's what I think he does best. And I think a 98 is good for Khalil Mack. And then going to number 1, the tops, which you already know from the 99 club, is Von Miller with the 99. 90 acceleration, 94 tackle, 95 block shed, 95 finesse move, and 98 pursuit. It is what it is. I don't think I would have gave Von Miller a 99 based off of last season. I actually think based off the last 2 years, he's been slightly overrated. But, you know, talent-wise, for what he can do it all. He can play the run. He can drop back into coverage, not be a liability, get much sacks. He can get, you know, double-digit sacks every single season. I probably, looking at this, I would have given Vaughn a 98. I just pains. I think 99 based off of last year for Von Miller, based on how bad that Broncos defense was, even though they were healthy for the most part, and he wasn't able to elevate the rest of the guys. I just think back to the Philadelphia Eagle game where, my God, he gets sent to orbit by Lane Johnson. I just can't justify Von Miller getting a 99. But I've already talked about that, I think, in a separate video. So that is the top 10 edge rushers, and I agree with most of them. Do you guys? Let me know in the comment section below. But before we finish, we'll talk about a couple honorable mentions, guys, that didn't just crack this list, that a lot of people might want to know their ratings. Myles Garrett got an 88. Yannick Ngakoue, even had a bunch of sacks. I think he led the league in forced fumbles. 86. 86 for Yannick Ngakoue. I think that might be a little low. Derek Barnett of the Philadelphia Eagles got an 80. Bradley Chubb, who we would have saw in the rookie ratings defensive side breakdown, got an 80. And Marcus Davenport, the player that the Saints traded 2 first-round picks for in the draft, got a 75. But that will do it for me here today, guys. Thank you for watching. As always, if it's your first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. Madden 19 season is going to be absolutely on fire here on the channel. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.